When you snap at someone, you know it's because you had a terrible day, you're exhausted, and you're just completely overwhelmed. But when someone else snaps at you, oh, they're just a rude person, right? They've got anger issues.
You always have a perfectly good reason for what you did, right? Well, that exact feeling, that's the key to our very first big idea.
So, let's kick things off with a fundamental bias that shapes almost all of our interactions. It's this wild double standard that pretty much all of us have, but we almost never see it happening.
When you snap at someone, you know it's because you had a terrible day, you're exhausted, and you're just completely overwhelmed. But when someone else snaps at you, oh, they're just a rude person, right? They've got anger issues. You see? We give ourselves this whole backstory, this whole movie of our good intentions, but we judge other people based on one single snapshot of their actions.
And this is where you really see the fallout. It's exactly why we get so defensive when someone calls us out, because we feel like, hey, you're not seeing my intentions. It's why everyone deep down is the hero of their own story, you know? Your mistakes always come with context.
This right here is a total game changer. We love to call procrastination laziness, like it's some kind of character flaw. What if it's really an emotional survival strategy? You're not actually avoiding the task, you're avoiding the feeling that the task brings up. That feeling of being bored or scared or like you're not good enough.
Your brain's #1 job isn't to get everything on your to-do list on. Its #1 job is to keep you emotionally comfortable and safe. It will always choose short-term comfort, even if that means you suddenly decide to alphabetize your spice rack at midnight to avoid working on that big project.
And, this tendency goes so much deeper than just putting off your homework. It actually explains some of the biggest, most confusing choices we make in our lives.
This is why people stay in jobs they complain about every single day. It's why they stay in relationships that feel like a chore. The misery is familiar. It's a pain they understand. The idea of leaving for something that might be amazing also comes with the risk that it might be worse.
But what happens when you throw other people into the equation? Oh, that's when our ancient, deep-seated survival instincts really take over.
The one who is just so overwhelmingly nice. But what if that extreme niceness isn't really about being kind? What if, on some level, it's actually a form of control?
And look, most of the time, this is all happening subconsciously, right? The secret logic is, if I never say no, if I never have a real preference, then nobody can ever be the bad guy to me. It's a strategy to manage how people see you, to guarantee they never have a reason to reject you.
And that leads us straight to this powerful and kind of uncomfortable truth. The fear of being cast out, of being disliked. It is one of the most powerful human motivators there is. It's this ancient programming from our tribal days where getting kicked out of the group could literally mean death.
And you see this play out in these tiny little ways every single day. Laughing at a joke that wasn't funny. Going to the restaurant you can't stand. Every one of those moments is a teeny tiny betrayal of your real self. A little sacrifice you make to the god of fitting in.
Okay, last one. And this one might be the most surprising of all. We've talked about sacrificing who we are to keep the peace with others. But what happens when the peace is just there? What does our brain do when there's no conflict?
Why on earth does your brain sometimes pick that exact moment to remind you of that super embarrassing thing you said back in high school?
Well, the answer is so simple, it's kind of brilliant. Your brain is a problem-solving machine. That is its job. And just like any good worker, it really does not like being unemployed. And there's the punchline. If there's no real, external fire to put out, your mind will happily just create an internal one. It'll start replaying old mistakes, or inventing worries about the future, or obsessing over some tiny flaw. And that's how we end up literally sabotaging our own peace. It's like our brain thinks a calm mind is an unemployed mind, and it just can't have that.
So when you step back and look at it, we went from looking outward at how we misjudge the people around us, all the way inward, to the strange, self-sabotaging, comfort-addicted programs running in the background of our own minds. Just understanding these things is a huge first step. But the next step is actually seeing them happen. So as you go about your week, just watch.